All right, everyone, welcome and thanks for stopping by. In this video, I will be showing the build that I use for Murdock when playing him as a carry in the duo lane. So before we get started, I have a couple of disclaimers. The first one is this is not a carry guide. I do not have a carry guide yet, but I will be making one and it will be on my channel at some point. I have a lot of videos to make and it's just not one of the ones on my high up on my list yet. I don't play carry a lot, so I'm trying to play carry a little bit more before I can make a guide on what to do and what not to do. The other disclaimer that I have to make is there is hundreds of different ways that you can make a build for Murdock or any other character in this game. So this is not me saying that this is the best build that you can have for Murdock or that you have to use this. This is just a basic guide that you can use if you're a new player wanting something to use for him. You can add or take away cards. It really doesn't matter to me if you'd use this one or not. This is just hopefully to help you guys who are new, who are looking for some good cards that they could pick for when playing Murdock. All right, so with the disclaimers out of the way, let's jump right into it. So if you've ever seen any of my guides on builds for certain characters, you'll know that I'm a broken record when it comes to recommending using tainted items. The ability to make your enemies have reduced healing, I can't overstate how important that is. There is so many times where you'll be fighting an enemy and you'll just feel like no matter how many abilities you land or no matter how much damage you do to them, their health just continues to stay full. This is what is causing it. They have high healing and high life steal, and you're not using anything that counters it, that reduces that. Obviously, there is other things that could be causing it, such as being fed or other things like that. But I have seen a lot of team fights where it just feels like no matter what you do, the other team, even though you're evenly matched, they don't ever seem to take damage, but your team just dies instantly. And then you'll look at it and all their teammates have some sort of tainted weapon and your team won't have it. Anyways, with that rant over, the reason that I get a tainted item really early with Murdock is because it has everything that you really need for Murdock. With most carries, and including Murdock, you want to have a lot of physical power, attack speed, and critical damage. And the tainted rounds adds all three of these, as well as the reduced healing. That's why this card is just so good. It adds all of those things and reduces their healing, and it's just a really powerful card that everyone needs to have, that not everyone realizes that. But yeah, I can't overstate how much importance there is to having a tainted item. So the next item that I'm going to recommend is Terminus. The reason I like this one is it adds critical chance, physical power, and life steal. I feel like with every character, it's important to have some kind of life steal, even if it's not primarily the focus. But the other thing I like about this one is if you're at full health and you're life stealing, this card will add that extra healing to shields up to 100% anyways, or not 100%, but 100 shield power. It's like having an 100 extra health, but it doesn't sound like a lot, but in a fight, there's so many times where you'll walk out of that fight with no health, and that can be the difference between life and death in a fight. The next card that I recommend is called Ashbringer. So Ashbringer is one of those cards that's pretty good, but it's pretty cheap considering card prices. But what I really like about it is it adds obviously physical power, attack speed, critical chance, and it gives you a little bit of ability haste as well. The other reason that I like Ashbringer is the additional ability that it has is it reduces your non-ultimate cooldown abilities by 0.3 seconds every time you land a basic attack hit. And that can be really good. If you get jumped by someone, you can shoot them with your buckshot, shoot them back a little bit. And if they close the gap again, you're continuously shooting them. It drops your cooldown. You can shoot them again and keep them at a distance. When you're playing a ranged character like a carry, you want to keep the melee enemies as far away from you as you can. And this is a really good way to do it, especially when you're playing Murdock with his right-click ability. So yeah, this card is just generally pretty good. I'd also just want to add this card and the next couple of cards. You could get these in any order that you really need to, just depending on the situation you're in, because each of these cards add different things. I just want to add that as a note. So the next card that I recommend is called Imperator. And the reason I like this one is it adds a bunch of physical power and a critical chance. But the big thing I really like about this one is it makes your critical strikes do 25% more damage to the person that you're fighting. And I think we all know how huge critical hits can be in a fight, and increasing the damage that those critical hits have can be really big in a fight. Anytime that you're focusing on critical strikes with a character, I recommend getting this card. And you can see the price of it's really high, and that's because this card is just so good that you really need to get it if you focus on critical hits. So before we get into the last couple of items, I realized I forgot to tell you which crest to grab. The crest that you want to grab is Marksman. And in order to upgrade this one, you need to land basic hits and kill enemies to evolve it. But once you get the item unlocked, the one that I recommend, Eviscerator. And the reason you want to get this one is it adds what you're looking for already: physical power, attack speed, critical chance. But what it also does is it makes it so you can attack 10% faster and you deal 15% damage, and it lasts for 6 seconds once you use it. And this can be really big when you're in a fight because it makes you start hitting harder and faster temporarily. And once you're like max level, adding 15% attack speed and 10% damage can be, that's a lot that it's adding. So this is just kind of the better card for Murdock, I feel like. So the next card that I'd grab is Deathstalker. I like this card because it adds to our physical power and attack speed, but it also adds some physical penetration, which means that it ignores some of the armor if you're fighting someone that has armor on them. But it also has the added ability to where it'll shred 2 of their armor from them. So if you're attacking them with someone else, it'll make it so their armor is reduced for that person that's helping you fight them as well. So that could be really big if you're, especially in a dual lane. If both of you are attacking someone, it'll drop their armor for them as well as yourself. And you can imagine being able to drop someone's armor in a team fight can be really big as well, because you won't only be dropping it for yourself, you'll be dropping it for everyone who's hitting them. So if they have someone that's really big and tanky like Rampage or Steel, you'll make it so your entire team is having reduced damage on that person. So it could be really big. So this last card is where you will either show how good you are as a carry or how bad you are as a carry. So this card adds physical power, attack speed, and ability haste. But the big thing that this card does is it adds 15 damage for on hit, and it increases by 4% every time you hit the target. So basically what this is saying is every time you shoot the person that you're shooting at, you'll do exponentially more damage. So this here is a clip of me showing you exactly what this is. You'll see every time you hit them, you do more and more damage, and it adds up over time. You see I started at 360 odd so much, and every time I hit him, it went up to all the way up to 500 damage per hit. So you can see why that I say that this card will show that if you are a great carry or a bad carry. That's because if your aim is really good, this card is massive. You can get your damage going up all the way up to 800 damage per shot. To put that in perspective, a fully maxed out Steel with full cards that are recommended, he has 5,600 health. So in theory and in a perfect situation, you should be able to kill him in 8 to 10 shots, a fully maxed out tank character. And when you have Murdock fully unlocked and all of his items purchased. All right, so that is all the items that I add for the build that I use for Murdock. If you like this build, let me know in the comments. And if you have anything else that you'd like to add or any other suggestions that you think for Murdock, if you're a more veteran player and you have anything you want to add, just let me know in the comments. I do like to take advice and see what people are using and try different builds myself. So if you have something that you use, if there's a card that I overlooked, let me know. Anyways, thank you guys for watching it if you made it this far, and be sure to subscribe and like the video if you haven't yet. And I appreciate you guys for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Bye.